ads on, cable news, network news, and, you get the Republicans on saying, why is the left so obsessed with this Russia story? Because it's the biggest story since Watergate. We're talking about a president now sitting in the White House, colluding with a hostile nation to get himself elected, and it's for a reason. There's always strings attached. It is a super duper big story. No, the average person's not interested. The average person just, they want to know, what are you doing for them? They going to get a better job or what? Is he bringing those factory jobs back? Because, it's always been every American's desire to work in a factory. That's their big high goal, to work in a factory and put part A and part B all day long, and then go home and then come back again the next day, put part A and part B all day long. That's all they've ever wanted to do with their life. They want those factory jobs, darn it, and get paid like minimum wage for it. Bring them back. Is that happening? Did he give us great health care yet? They want to know the issues. What are you doing for me? What do I get out of it? They're not interested in whether the president's a puppet of Vladimir Putin. They don't get it. They don't understand it. They don't want to understand it. And maybe that's true to a large degree with Trump supporters. I saw one surrogate on TV for Trump this week. The president's out there and he's fulfilling all the things Americans want and all the promises to the Americans. The only problem is most Americans who voted in this past presidential election for him. The majority, you look at the popular vote, voted for Hillary Clinton. So he's not doing it for me. He's not doing it for a lot of Americans. Now, he's keeping the Americans' promise he made to Americans. Yeah, but the majority of Americans don't want his promises. They voted against those promises. He's a president for about 40% of the Americans. The 60% who didn't vote for him, didn't want his policies, he says, go jump in a lake. You don't count anymore. I heard Lindsey Graham, senator, say that, hey, you got to deal with, there's consequences to elections. You lost, we're in, and you don't count anymore. No, I'm still American. I'm still paying taxes. Does that mean if I don't count anymore and my opinion doesn't count anymore and just step aside and let us do whatever we want, does that mean I don't have to pay taxes anymore because my voice doesn't count anymore? Your voice doesn't count anymore because your team lost? So you don't have a right to speak up. You don't have a right to expect anything you want to get done or be heard. If you notice, the president and his little sycophant vice president, Mike Pence, they only go to counties where they won, mostly in the South or in the Midwest, to the yokels, who are still saying, yeah, make America great. I want to work in the factory or in a coal mine. I get black lung. Yes, bring back the coal jobs. That's because he knows the rest of the nation isn't with him. They're out protesting, having rallies, saying no. They're ending up at these town hall meetings with the congressmen, and they have disagree cards, these red cards. Did you see this? This is the latest thing. These town hall meetings. And Lindsey Graham, South Carolina, North Carolina, one of those Carolina states, when he says something they disagree, they hold up a red card that says disagree. If he says something they like, they hold up a green card that says agree. Stop, go, shut up, speak up. But it is a big deal. Here is Dick Cheney. Remember him? Did we have such short memories? We've forgotten who Dick Cheney is? Remember the old Batman series on TV? Adam West played Batman? Yeah, he played the Penguin in that series. Yeah, how can we forget Dick Cheney? And here is Dick Cheney speaking to a bunch of probably millionaires and billionaires at some international businessman meeting. They look very rich and important. But he addresses, and Dick Cheney's, besides playing the Penguin on the Batman series, he also was vice president under George W. Bush, W. Very conservative. Nobody could question that. Listen to what he says about how important this Russia matter is.
It's a very serious effort.
Speak up, Dick.
By Mr. Putin and his government, his organization, to interfere in major ways with our basic fundamental democratic processes.
Yeah.
In some quarters, that would be considered an act of war.
Yeah, an act of war in some quarters. How about some dimes? Some quarters. An act of war? That's what Dick Cheney, former vice president of the United States, a Republican through and through, said this is such an important thing. Russia trying to manipulate our presidential election and work so hard to get Donald Trump elected. And they were successful. It wasn't just you folks out there in the Midwest, in the South, in these red states. It wasn't just you. You had a helper, Comrade Putin, who helped out. And old Cheney here is saying, hey, that is such a serious thing when a hostile foreign power meddles in who we elect president and they're successful in getting their candidate in office. This could be viewed as a hostile act to the point of war, a hot war, missiles, bullets, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's pretty serious. I think that's serious. So this is worth spending time on it. Because if he's an illegitimate president, if he got in with help from a hostile foreign power to put him in for their own purposes, and what would